Happy Thursday, everyone. And that is correct. It is Thursday, and we are live racing here at Oaklawn. Nancy Holthus joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman as we have a very good 10-race card leading up to a phenomenal weekend of thoroughbred action. But let's take a quick look at Mother Nature, what she's got in store for us today. We are looking at a fast track, winds out of the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour, sunny skies with a temp of 37 degrees. Still a little bit chilly, Matt. I know I came in around 7:30 this morning, and it was cold.
Yeah.
It was very cold. So.
And you've got your nice,
Yeah,
winter
I've got my little sweater
on,
my little overcoat. So, yeah, we're looking forward to being inside, you and I.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the horses and jockeys and pony people have to brave those conditions.
Yeah, wear warm clothes.
Wear warm clothes.
Go like this.
Layer up.
Every once in a while.
Layer up. Let's go ahead and take a look at our news page. We still have same current leaders, not a surprise there, as we have Christian Torres, Kenny McPeak, and End Zone Athletics are topping their respective divisions. And stick around tonight. Super excited for trivia and mainline sports with Roger Scott. And a little birdie told me that they upped the prizes for trivia. So more incentive to come out and have a great time in mainline sports with the Buzz's own Roger Scott. Banishing is favored in today's Byerly Turk overnight stakes, and a big day on Saturday. Doors will open at 10:30 with a first post of 11:25. Upon entry, you will receive a voucher, one per person, for that collectible Mystic Dan bobble horse, and you can redeem that voucher after race 4 while supplies last. You can also be part of the 100K cash giveaway. Just go collect an entry at the promotions table, and you can drop that in the casino in the racing box after 4 o'clock. And Matt, I will be there at 7 o'clock to announce 4 lucky people to take home $5,000 cash each. 6 stakes on Saturday, including the Martha Washington and the Southwest, both respective preps towards the Kentucky Derby Day and racing next Thursday. So mark your calendar, not only this Thursday, but next Thursday, as well as we make up for some of those canceled days prior. Did you have good days off?
Had great days. I mean, just relaxed, did a lot of work prepping for Southwest. These big weeks, there's a lot of prep that goes into it, and then extra days, more races. It's going to be a fun week, though.
Yes, it is. A lot of big names will be represented this Saturday. But let's go ahead and get things underway because we have pushed up first post to 12:15. So Matt and I are going to rock and roll to the quarter pole to get these 10 races in for you. Race number 1, we're starting out with a very competitive group of starter allowance at the 50 level, optional claiming of $62,500, and several are exiting stakes races. And we did have multiple scratches today. We'll show these right now, and then Matt will give you the full set of changes in just a bit. But as you can see, Matt already a lot of money. He's been bet down to even money. That's the 8-5 morning line favorite, Golden Irish. But what are your thoughts on the opener?
I picked a Phantom Horse, Kentucky Smoke Show, scratch just 5 minutes ago.
He cannot run. So yeah.
I'm 0 for 1. No, I'm kidding. I'll give you another one here. Golden Irish, I scratch into this one. Comes off a dominating win 2 starts ago on a fast track. Came back on a muddy surface and was second best. Both times went off favored. Second off the claim for Tom Amos here. Basically scratching into this one as the most speed in what's now a small field of 6. So I think she's going to be tough. Kentucky Smoke Show, again, a scratch, number 4.
Yeah, I'm with Golden Irish as well. Tom Amos having a very good start to the meet already. Does get our leading rider in Christian Torres. Is first Lasix today and was the beaten favorite last out. That was over a muddy track. So a lot of times I like to give him a second chance if they might not have. He ran very well, but today I think it's definitely his turn, or excuse me, her turn, as she does get a fast racing surface today. Race number 2, several professional maidens in the field as we look on to the first leg of the early 50-cent pick 4. Race 1, first leg of the 50-cent pick 5. This is a maiden claiming for 3 and up, 12-5 Arkansas breds in for the $20,000 tag, and they will go 1 mile and a 16th. But Matt, we've got a full field of 12.
A full field of 12, and as you mentioned, Nancy, professional maidens in here, and I'm going to take somebody that is not. Brinson drawing the rail. This horse first time out for Gennaro Garcia, who doesn't win often first out, had a terrible trip. Should have won Down on the inside, got stopped and was second best for maiden 15 in Indiana. Then tried synthetic, ran very poorly. I'm going to cross that race out for maiden 50 as well at Turfway Park. Turfway, Kentucky, strong circuit, but also probably in too tough. So back in for 12-5 now here for the Garcia barn and back to the dirt with a good trip. I think Brinson at 6-1 is an intriguing mild price.
Certainly so. I'm going to go just to the outside of Matt's top selection with the number 2, Sir Exton. We'll see if Christian Torres can get me that early daily double. This time from the barn of trainer Mike Stidham. Takes the drop in class. Has been inching closer to the winner's circle since joining those maiden claiming ranks. Last out was for maiden 30. It was also over the turf at the fairgrounds. Ran a respectable 4th after stalking the pace. Does get that class relief and also races 3rd off of the layoff here in race number 2. Moving on, race number 3, as a few getting class relief in this particular field. Non-winners of 3 for the claiming price of $35,000, and they will go 6 furlongs. Scratch of the 2, but still a really competitive group of 10. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Well, the cutback from a route to a sprint is my favorite angle, and we find it here with Sugar Bell, who I thought was a very respectable second last time out. Dueled in the lead and was second best to Thestro, who was low odds to win that day. Second off a freshening here for a very good trainer in Doug Anderson. This horse is drawn outside, so is going to get the right trip. Can go towards the lead. This horse has actually shown a little bit of tactical speed in sprint races in the past, so I think this horse will get a good stock and pounds trip. Sugar Bell's my pick in here.
A lot of times you'll see horses run 3rd, then 2nd, and then make that trip to the winner's circle. Certainly could be the play today for Sugar Bell. I'm going to go to the opposite end of the starting gate, 2-1 on the number 1, Gloriette, coming from the barn of Gennaro Garcia. Manny Escobar to do the steering. Does make the Oaklawn debut today after a trio of races at Churchill, and I'm not too concerned about the drop back in for the tag, as Gennaro claimed this horse at this particular level back at Churchill in mid-September, and he got his money's back, certainly, after running 3rd, beating just a neck against a really competitive group of starter allowance runners, and then most recently over the mud, sprinting 5.5 in Louisville for 2nd level allowance company to run 5th, and looks to be forwardly placed, has a nice natural early turn of foot, so we'll see if Gloriette can get Gennaro Garcia's barn to the winner's circle. Race number 4, 5 first-time starters help make up this field of 12, just scratching your also eligibles. And this is for Arkansas-bred 3-year-old maiden allowance, and they will sprint 6 furlongs. Matt, we've got a lot of those first-time starters down on the inside, which could make for a very interesting break.
Yes, they're going to have to break, and their prices as well. So if you like the first-time starters, you're going to get some value there. Getting by, even money on the morning line in a field of 12. That's not something you often see in a large field. But for good reason. This horse ran 5th on debut in an open maiden special weight and finished behind Donut God, El Prestigio. I mean, these are very nice open maiden special weight horses. And now this horse is in an Arkansas-bred race. So second time out for the Randy Morris barn. I would imagine this horse getting by is going to be very tough, a son of Petrov. And I've heard through the grapevine that from the small sample size of Petrovs we have first round sire here, he's pretty well liked. It seems that his babies are precocious. They can sprint. They're good athletic horses. So
I can't help but think that Randy Moore said, you want me to get a start in this horse before Oaklawn, and ran very well. Actually, you don't get to say many horses exit a key race in their lone start, but that is certainly the factor, as the winner, and I love this name, Donut God, came back to win the inaugural stakes at Tampa in his next start. So yeah, and that was over the slop and far to the outside of the gate. Kind of gets more kind of on the outer parts of the starting gate, but does get a fast track today, and really do like the work pattern for this 3-year-old. Most recently on January 18th, 4 furlongs and 47 and 2, almost getting that bullet drill from 302 workers at a half mile that morning, which definitely tells you that this horse definitely has some talent, and wouldn't be surprised maybe we see him in some stakes company later on in the season. So a really good Arkansas-bred maiden allowance. As we move on to race number 5, several jumping into the restricted ranks today, as this is for 4 and up non-winners of 3 races lifetime, or horses that have not won a race since July 20th. They are going to go a mile and a 16th. And Matt, yet again, a full field of 12.
Yes, a full field of 12, my favorite to call. So
Yes.
and going 2 turns, which is even better.
We're getting our money's worth out of you today with these full fields.
We sure are. And Vivir con Alegria, which means to live with Alegria in Spanish.
I like
I am not going to hop on this train here. Takes a 2.5-month freshening first off the claim for Brad Cox. Was claimed for $40,000 and is now in for 10 today. That's a suspicious sign. On top of it, if you go to oaklawn.com/racing/workouts, you can find a number of workouts for horses here at Oaklawn. And I watched this horse's work on January 4th, and this horse got smoked in the mornings by the workmate. So for me, I don't think this is a good play at 6-5. If this horse is anything in the tank, he should be effective in this spot. But I'm going to take Burning Leaves, second off a small layoff for trainer Mac Robertson. Before the break, this horse ran in an allowance race at Canterbury Park and was second best that afternoon. And ran a very good race, all things considered. Came back for a 16,000 restricted race. Didn't do much running after breaking slowly. I think this horse is in an easier spot here. That last race, it seems like the Mac Robertson trainees off of breaks, they've needed a run or two to get in peak shape, and I think he's going to be in peak shape. He runs back to his Canterbury allowance form. I think he can win.
Well, I'm steering away from that 6-5 morning line favorite myself and going with my long shot of the day in this particular field. That's the number 10 Cool Memory. This one campaigned by owner trainer Steve Asmussen. Keith in the irons this afternoon as he was last go, was third for Open 5, 2 back at Remington, and exits a little bit tougher, $7,500 claimer here to run another third. Looks to sit back and stalk the pace, both of those races around 1 mile. But we are jumping up to 10,000, but it's restricted. So that's one thing that I like, and is a 4-time winner against some that haven't made that many trips to the winner's circle. And I think we're going to get a good price as well on the number 10 Cool Memory. We're going to take a quick break here on this Thursday edition of Oaklawn Today. And when we return, we'll pick it back up with race number 6, the first leg of the late 50-cent Pick 5.
What's at stake? $1 million purse. Oaklawn Stakes races are where horses step out of the shadows and into the spotlight, and where Triple Crown dreams begin. The Southwest Stakes is coming. It's the race where the legend of Mystic Dan began.
Mystic Dan is turning it on!
And it's back and bigger than ever. Big crowds, big names, and a big old payday.
Mystic Dan, a dominant win!
This is your Oaklawn.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, January 25th. It could be your big payday at Oaklawn. With $100,000 in cash up for grabs, we're offering 2 exciting ways to win your share. The first way is in our racing drawing. Stop by the promotions table to get your free entry ticket. Then, drop it in the racing drum located inside the casino between 4 p.m. and 6:50 p.m. At 7 p.m., 4 lucky winners will each walk away with $5,000 in cash. The second way is in our casino drawing. Oaklawn Rewards members can earn entries all month long. Plus, get 1 free entry every day. Just drop your entries in one of the 5 cash drums in the casino before 7:50 p.m. on January 25th. And here's what you could win. With $100,000 and 20 winners, Oaklawn is the place to be.
And we're off. Mystic Dan broke sharply today. Mystic Dan 5-6 ahead, and he wins wrapped up. A dominant win in the Southwest.
And there's a sneak peek of the Mystic Dan Bobble Horse right here.
There he is.
There he is in full glory. This is the first time that I'm matching the saddle towel. Look at that, Matt. I didn't even plan that. Purple is the number 10. And first time we've done a Bobble Horse since American Pharaoh in his journey in 2015. So very excited. And again, 1 per person. And Matt, I like to say, Don't text me, call me, at me, tweet me, DM me, because I cannot get you a bobblehead. So.
It happened last week, too. I remember we got off air, and Nancy looked, and she goes, people were texting me.
Well, you know what's funny, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. People that I haven't talked to in years will come out of the woodwork and say, "Can you get me this? Can you get me that?"
For sure.
I'm like,
it's like Derby Day every year, where you hear those 5 people that you hear from once a year, and they say, "How you doing, buddy? By the way, who do you like in the Kentucky Derby?" It's like, you don't care how I'm doing. You just want to know who I like in the Kentucky Derby.
We just want your free picks.
Right.
Race number 6 is for 4-year-olds and up, a first level, non-winners of a race since September 20th, and they are in for the claim price of $30,000. 4-year-olds and up, and they will sprint 6 furlongs. A very sharp field, and some multiple winners out of this group. We have an 11-time winner in the hardcore 8-year-old Chip Off the Old Block. It's been a while since he's gotten his picture taken, though, but still, nonetheless, a couple scratches and down to now a field of 9.
And Isaac Castillo is going to ride my top pick here. Just got
that.
Got Thunder, replacing Eric Asmussen, who this horse ran well last time in an open $30,000 race. The key is, though, this horse is getting in a 30 restricted race for runners which have not won a race since September 20th, 2024. So in against open, lost by 3 parts of a length, got a good trip, and was just 4th best, beaten by a narrow margin behind Samurai Prince, Pain, and Higher Standard. Better horses than what he finds here. So the key is the condition. This horse is getting out of the open race into a restricted spot, cleverly spotted by the Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen, and I like this horse. But I will say, though, this is the race out of all of them that I had the least strong opinion on.
Looks like Mark Cassie is going to continue his win streak, I think, and here with the number 1, Braun and Brow, 7-time winner in just 22 starts. Cassie is firing at 38%. This is also the first time this horse is running for a tag after facing state-bred stakes runners down in Louisiana. Certainly spotted aggressively in this particular field and has some very nice works after that last 7th place finish against Louisiana sprinters in stakes company. So fired a bullet back on December 28th at the fairgrounds, went 49 flat over the mud, and then came back at the fairgrounds again on January 3rd, 48-1. So certainly have this horse tight and right, and probably reason why they're shipping up here, because they may have seen the weather down at the fairgrounds when they were forced to cancel because of something they don't get very often, snow.
Winter
I
Wonderland.
think they had like 10 inches, and I wish we could send some of that snow out to Southern California.
Yes.
Those poor people. So
I don't know how Southern Californians would take the snow, though.
Well,
I told you last year.
They do get to handle the snow when they go snow skiing and snowboarding.
But I told you what happened last year. I called my mom when there was snow on the windshield and was like, "What am I doing here?" And she's like, "You get it off. That's what you do.
Don't drive with it on.
Yeah,
Make sure you clear your windshield."
By the way, I made a massive error. It's okay. Last week I called the wrong finish line one race. Today I made the worst error possible just now. I wrote the wrong top pick in here. My top pick is a different horse.
Oh, well, who is your top pick?
Synthesis, number 7.
Okay.
I apologize for that. I should have known better. I wrote 2714 on my page, but it's 7214.
There we go. So tell us about your top pick.
He's my long shot pick in here, and I do like Got Thunder. I think he'll run well. But this horse, Synthesis, 2 and 3 back, he got wet tracks. One of those races afterwards, he took time off. He doesn't like wet surfaces. He's 0 for 11 on it. Last time out, he ran in a 25 claimer. David Jacobson off of layoffs has low numbers for a trainer that wins fairly often. But second start off the break, he wins at about 25%. Wow. And I think this horse last time needed his last race. I also thought he was too far back. He likes to be closer. If Synthesis can run back to his form in the summertime, then he can win this race as a big, big number. So he's the pick, and my apologies.
No, absolutely. I wasn't here that day, so if I wasn't here, it didn't happen.
Okay.
It didn't happen. It looks like David Jacobson is going to have a very good day. He is loaded for bear, and that carries into race number 7. It was a bit of a scratch fest in this particular race, but this is a 40 starter allowance. Runners that have started for 40 or less in 2022 through 2024. They are going to go 6 furlongs. And Matt, as you can see, I wrote Speed Fest on top of my past performances, and that could very well be the case, as they are some very accomplished sprinters.
very accomplished sprinters, including Disco Ball, who's won 7 in a row, and he comes off a starter allowance, went over a muddy surface here last time out. He drifted out late after getting an easy lead, so I was a little bit like, I don't know what that means. I wish he would have run straight, but he got another big number. This horse has dealt with front-running pressure, and he's been able to draw off and win. So I think this horse is the best horse by far, and I think he'll win. Disco Ball coming off a very nice win, and he's won 7 in a row, so he's going well.
Yeah, to have an 8-year-old be able to still win at this level. So even at 7, he was putting multiple wins together, looking for his 7th straight. It is going to be, they're going to make him work for it,
yes,
for sure. But it does seem very speed heavy, what does remain against this group. But one of my all-time favorite horses, Devil's Tower, does return in this field.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that horse.
He was trying so hard to beat Disco Ball last time, but Disco Ball just got
I think just a little bit better. And anytime I see Disco Ball, I always sing that song from the 70s, Disco Duck. I don't know why.
Okay.
It just comes in my mind. It's one of those racing things.
We
those
learned
racing
earlier
oddities.
this year you're a disco gal.
I am a disco gal.
I mean, how can you not dance to disco?
It's contagious. Race number 8, many are exiting the same last out for this non-winners of 2 allowance. It is for 4-year-olds and up, and they will go 3/4 of a mile. No scratches. Well, I stand corrected. A late scratch of the number 10 out of this particular field. But we do have a very accomplished, lightly raced runner in the number 5, Go Captain, Lonnie Briley. And people are thinking, Lonnie Briley, that name's familiar. Well, he saddled the Smarty Jones winner in Coal Battle, who will return in the Rebel. But, Matt, what are your thoughts here for the 8th?
Well, usually when you think of Lonnie Briley, you think of Coal Battle. And Go Captain saying, I want to be the star of the barn today.
Right.
So he is in this race. He went very fast last time out. Opened up by 3, went 21-3, 45 for the half, and got run down late by a horse, Wendelson, who we're going to see in the stake later today. I just think this horse last time went a little too fast early. Christian Torres rode him for the first time. He got to know him that day. So if he can just ration his speed a little bit here, he's the quickest horse in the race, I believe. And I think that he's the best horse in the race. So he's going to be the pick. I'm going to give him one more chance.
Yeah, I really like this horse this afternoon as well, Go Captain. And Matt did reference Wendelson, who is 5-2 in the Byerly Turk. We'll talk about that race in just a moment. But does look to be forwardly placed and has some, I like when they run a good race and then they work really, really well after that. Not just one work, but 2. And that's the case here with Go Captain. And it's kind of that old school training, just that nice, tight 3 furlong drill on January 16th. He went 36-3. So that's kind of that old school racing mentality that I really do like to see, and I certainly appreciate in the Lonnie Briley barn. Race number 9, we have 10 overnight stakes this season, and the first one is the Byerly Turk Overnight. This is for 4-year-olds and up. It's going 6 furlongs, and I've talked about this on the buzz all over, as Byerly Turk is the earliest of 3 stallions that were founders of the modern-day thoroughbred horse racing bloodstock world.
Wow.
The other 2 being the Godolphin Arabian and the Darley Arabian. We're talking like late 1600s.
Yeah.
So like literally when it was the sport of kings.
Right.
So we do have 3 scratches, and also a rider change of Keith will be in the irons aboard the number 8 Booth, but still a very, very good field, and I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of them do have stakes experience, but they're all looking for their first stakes victory.
And that'll change. Of course, a lot of the overnight stakes we added for the first time this year are for horses that haven't won a sweepstakes.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good shot to where maybe you've run out of your allowance conditions or you're questioning whether your horse fits in stakes company.
Yeah.
Give him a shot in a race like that, and it's sort
Why
of a
not?
trial run for him. But Banishing, just well spotted by David Jacobson. He's never won a stake. Is he fast enough to win a stake? Absolutely, including last time out. If you watch that last race, he beat Tejano Twist. If he can do that on his turf.
Yeah, right. Who
You
was
can win a
runner-up
stake.
the last 2 years in the King Cotton.
It pretty much was a stake, really, when you look at the field. Tejano Twist, Run Classics, very nice horse.
Yes.
Stakes winner himself. So Banishing, he has speed, doesn't need the lead, obviously. He hasn't been on the lead in a while, should get a good stalking trip. Is he going to bounce? Possibly. It'll be hard to run back-to-back races like he did last time, but I don't even think he needs to necessarily. I just think he needs to run his B-plus race, and that'll be good enough.
Kind of like what we saw with Kale's Angel last out. I think his B race is good enough in this particular field. But, yeah, I'm on Banishing as well, and I think there is enough time between that last race to prevent that bounce. That last race was on December 20th, and we're a little over a month from this. And I like the fact he can sit back and kind of stalk, see what the pace is happening, and then make that one run at the top of the lane. Race number 10 is the nightcap. Both first-time starters scratched, so we have an experienced group of fillies and mares, 3 and up, maiden claiming 12.5, Archiebreds in for the 20, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Matt, what are your thoughts here in the nightcap?
Well, a hunch play, get frosty after such a cold couple weeks. Yeah. This runner here didn't run a step in a main special weight. Adds blinkers, dropped for 12.5. This horse was in for 25 at Gulfstream 2 starts ago. So when I see that, a horse that recently was in for a lower tag, they try tougher, they don't run well, and then they take a big drop, that's not a concern for me. I think Saffie Joseph just getting aggressive here, and that's what he does with a big stable like his. Most of his horses in Florida, but they can get aggressive. They have all these horses. They don't need to be messing around. They say we need to put them in a spot where they can win, and I think it's graduation time. Today, I'm not going to get too creative here with this nightcap pick.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt. Does take the drop and adds blinkers. Has been consistent in the 5 career starts for her. She's in the money 4 of those, and it's, you know, a lot of times that might be a red flag going from maiden special to maiden 12.5, but as Matt alluded to, ran for the quarter 2 starts back. So races 3rd off the layoff today. That's a handicapping angle that I like. So we will see if Get Frosty can be the hunch play on this chilly Thursday. In addition, we have put together a $20 show bet bonus parlay, our long shot, and our top pick, which is sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt's going to go 1, 3, 7, 9, kind of spread it throughout the card. Well, I'm going to go 6, 7, 8, 9. Long shot play of the day for Matt is in race number 6. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is Synthesis.
That is
okay,
correct,
just making sure. And I'm going to go with Cool Memory 1 race prior, but we are both backing Getting By in race number 4, that Randy Morse contender, hoping to ring the bell today, and wouldn't be surprised if Getting By does well. We see that runner later in Arkansas Bred Stakes Company, or maybe even Open Company. We're starting to see a lot more Arkansas Breds be competitive against open runners as our breeding program just gets stronger and better and stronger.
Yeah, it just ages like oak.
Yes.
You know, it's getting better as the days go on here.
I like to think of myself as a fine wine, like I get better with age.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true, but that's what I'm telling myself to get by. So we've got 10 races on the afternoon. We are moving up first post. It will now be 12:15 as opposed to 12:30. So make sure you make adjustments for that. It's going to be a great day of racing, a great 4-day race week as we have here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So Matt's going to go up, give you the full set of changes, and you will see me throughout the afternoon in the paddock. Good luck today here at Oaklawn.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park. Folks, without further ado, we now ask you to please